God bless. Good evening. I welcome you all on our next Once Upon a Time session. I'm really pleased that the Lion King story you enjoyed last week so much, and thank you for all the feedback. The feedback was so positive that someone decided to send me the pictures of the whole book, and actually two books. And one of these books I've received on the photos. So I'm going to come up with another story about the lion. But this time, the lion will be only one of the characters in the story. The other one will be quite unexpectedly a different creature, very different. So it'll be about a roaring lion, and it will be about Squeaky Mouse. So I hope that you are going to enjoy this story, which is very different. You will see how you can have the lion inside. It's not only about being the lion outside in a size, in a roaring voice, but it's about having a lion inside. So let's start another story about the lion. The story is called The Lion Inside. In a dry, dusty place where the sand sparkled gold, stood a mighty flat rock, all craggy and old. And under that rock, in a tiny full house, lived the littlest, quietest, meekest brown mouse. He was so very tiny, so incredibly small, that nobody noticed him ever at all. He got trod on and sat on, and missed out for stuff, ignored and forgotten. Yes, mouse life was tough. Meanwhile, far above, on top of the rock, times were quite different. It was lion o'clock. This huge, toothsome creature made sure everyone saw how important he was by how loud he could roar. He was head of the pack. He was shouty and tough. He loved showing the crowd he was made of strong stuff. Yes, all were impressed by this mighty king cat. If only, thought Mouse, I could be more like that. Then late one dark night in his Minnie Mouse bed, the cleverest thought popped into his head. He jumped from the covers and held up a paw. I've got it, he said. What I need is to roar. I mean, what if this mouse with the weenest squeak was a little more and a little less meek? Well, he'd still be the smallest of fuzzy brown mice, but he'd make friends and join in, and life would be nice. Yes, thought the mouse, I must find out how. I will learn how to roar. I will learn it now. But go! Oh my gosh, there was only one beast who could teach him this thing, but he might make him a feast. It was time to be strong. Take a chance after all. Forever was such a long time to feel small. So he made himself brave, and he thought like a winner. He set off for the top, hoping not to be a dinner. It felt like the scariest thing he could do, but if you want things to change, what first have to change is you. The further he climbed, the closer he got. The slumbering lion reclining on top. Then at last he stood on his tippy toes. He found himself suddenly nose to nose. Oh, go, pardon me. Wake up, Mr. Lion. You've got company. Squeak, Mr. Lion. What I've come to you for is squeak. Do you think you can teach me your roar? A silence befell that twinkling plain. Lion opened his eyes and puffed all his mane. Time slowed right now. Why? It felt like a week. Then he opened his mouth and let out an eek. The lion was shaking, his paws all a fumble. He was backing away with a crumbling tumble. Don't hurt me, he whimpered. Oh, try to be nice. Well, my goodness, this lion was frightened of mice. Don't worry, Mouse beat. I'm a friend, not a foe. Let's rock this together. We'll have fun, don't you know? That was a magical moment for sure, when Mouse didn't feel at all small anymore. He had found his true voice and learned to speak out. And for that, you don't need to roar or to shout. And from that day and always, the two were there. They both liked that rock better now that rock was to share. The mouse, while still little, felt big in his head. A lion? He still roared, but with laughter instead. Yes, that day both learned that no matter your size, we all have a mouse and a lion inside. This is the story. And this is the story, what is learning us, what is teaching us what? You don't have to be and brave to find your roar. Being little isn't always easy, but when Mouse sets off on a journey to find his roar, he discovers that even the smallest creature can have the heart of a lion. And this is a very good morals that this story is teaching us. You don't have to be big at all to have a big heart and to be brave. Marvelous. I hope that you like this story. I did. When I was reading it the first time, I thought, what a lovely story. It's so good for everyone, really, for big and small, because it is about big and small. Now, there'll be no puzzle tonight. I invite you, as always, to share your stories with me, and thank you very much for the story that I have received last week. I've got a little announcement for you, because next week we are celebrating quite an important solemnity, the Assumption of Jesus into heaven. So this celebration is going to make us praying in this normal time at 6:30 with other churches as well. So you'd be most welcome to join that prayer. But in fact, to join in to listening to this story, once upon a time, we would meet at 6 p.m. Okay? So there will be a little change for the next week. We will not meet at 6:30, but 6 p.m. This is to allow everyone to join in prayer at 6:30 with other churches. So I wish you a good night, and God bless you, and I hope that you're going to have a very good evening and very good day tomorrow. Bye-bye.